Hello my tree friends, this is Bat. So today I'm doing another tier list. I pretty much just recorded the Kabloom tier list, but I just felt like doing another one because 1, I'm bored, 2, I have a lot of free time, and 3, we needed some more controversial opinions on the Discord. So yeah, I'm just gonna record another tier list because why not? And this time we're live on Twitch, that means I have a chat. However, the chat is not gonna be showing on screen because I have no idea how to do that, and I'm too lazy to figure that out right now. But that is not gonna matter. Actually, as someone in chat just pointed out that there's no F tier. That's a very good point. I need an F tier. Add row below. I think, and hope that everyone here knows how tier lists work, so that I don't have to actually explain them too much. But yeah, we need an F tier for the absolute garbage cards, which is most of the cards in this game. Alright, so starting off with the first card, which is not a banana peel, I messed up the order there. The first card is gonna be Half Banana. This is actually a really fine card, and honestly I have no idea how to rate it because I have no idea how I'm gonna rate the other cards. But it's like an on-curve card and has a really fine upside of growing bananas in your hand. Even if it grows one banana, it's usually already worth it. The problem is just that there aren't many bananas, but like I said, it only needs to grow one for it to be good. I kind of want to put this in B tier. Thing is, there's just a lot of other better one drops, so you end up not running it that much. But just as a card itself, it's really fine. I'm gonna put it in B tier actually. Yeah, B for banana sounds good. Yo, 9 viewers is. Oh yeah, never mind. Alright, next card is gonna be. If I can please. Yeah, thank you. Half Banana. Not the Half Banana. This time it's Banana Peel. This card is so insane. This is one of the cards, like once you understand how this card works, it's like a one-cost fruitcake that gives you a block charger. It's such a stupid card. It makes a lot of decks work, including my favorite deck, Plant Mob, obviously, which is probably one of the reasons I'm biased. And it isn't actually that much better than Fruitcake because it does actually need an empty lane for the zombie to go in, and not every zombie is a zombie you'll want to have just going face mindlessly. But like generally speaking, it's just pretty much removal that gives you an extra block charger. It's like an absolute dumb card 90% of the times. And also then you have the times you get like Brainana on Captain Combustible or Grass Knuckles when you really shouldn't be having that. It's just stupid. This is an easy S tier card. Alright. Next off we have I don't even know what this name is in English, but this I think it's like Peapod or something. Yeah, it's not a good card. It's not an absolutely horrible card though. Like it starts as 1/1, but honestly after one turn it's already on curve, and it does snowball somewhat nicely because it also grows health and attack. It's like a fine card. It's not the worst card. I think there are a lot of worse cards I'd put on this tier list, so I'm actually gonna put this in low C, just because there's gonna be a lot of garbage in D and F tier, and I don't think this is gonna be that much. It's gonna be actually on the level of garbage of the other cards. I might drop it into D tier later though more once I see that the D tier isn't actually that bad. Alright, next up we have Pea Shooter. This is the best card in the game. It's no, why do I do this? These aren't even memes that anymore. Alright, next off, Click P. Alright, this is probably the most overrated one drop in the game currently. Okay, that's actually probably an overstatement because I don't actually have every one drop in front of me right now. However, this is not a good card. Like it is one cost 2/2 is on curve stats, but the ability is not actually an upside. Like yes, you can get 2 cost 3/3s on turn 2, but at the same time, uh, you have the cost of lowering your chances of actually drawing your deck. And most of the time, currently decks play stuff like 2 cost 4/4, 3 cost 6/6. Like you don't want these. Like you want cards that synergize with your deck, and making yourself less likely to draw them is most of the time a downside. If you play stuff like Gatling P and Jelly Bean to actually use the P and Bean body, it's not a bad card, but it's definitely not a good card to just dump into any deck. So I'm actually just gonna put this into a high C tier, just as a statement. Next off is Bonk Choy. This is a really fine card. It is sort of on curve, except it's the only one drop I think that has exactly its curve of stats, and it's actually quite a useful stats. 3-1 is pretty fine, pretty good at like trading conman, especially since 3 attack is quite a good number of attack. Problem is just 1 health is pretty fragile. It is a pretty solid card though. As a 1 drop you don't mind being too fragile, although it will mean that you'll prefer other 1 drops oftentimes. It's still a good card. Next up we have Umbrella Leaf. This is another really underrated card. Like as a 1 cost, it is not an early game card. Let's put it like that. You have to play this in the late game pretty much, unless you have like Lily of the Valley and do it like turn 3 together with I don't know what, because you don't have anything else or something. You generally don't want to play this early though. It's just that once you have a huge plant on the field, and then you're gonna like generally zombies are gonna have to answer them with tricks, because answering your big plants with zombies is just gonna get wrecked by banana peel in this class, or any removal in any other class. So, oh yeah, Potato Mine kinda is a 3-1 like Bonk Choy, but Potato Mine is also a really good card, so I don't care. So yeah, Umbrella Leaf has to be played late game pretty much, but it does actually really well at protecting your plants. It generally dies to a plumber, but that's like a 1-for-1 trade, and the plumber can't go anywhere else, so you kind of force that, which is really good. The problem is just that Barrel exists, making this card less reliable late game, since Barrel would oftentimes just free trade this. It isn't horrible though. I'm debating between B and C tier. It's definitely better than Click P, and also better than the P. I'm gonna put this in low B tier. I think it's fine. Alright, next up is Sweet Potato. This is not an absolutely horrible card. It doesn't have any that great uses, mainly because the movement is absolutely outclassed by Banana Peel and Sweet Pea, both of which are a lot better. Like, Sweet Pea is already just outclassed by Banana Peel. It is not the worst card in the game, but I don't see any specific strong use for this over anything else that I just mentioned. So I'm just gonna put this in D tier. So next up, Party Time. This is such an underrated card. It's not like broken or anything, but like 1 cost 2/2 is completely fine stats. It's like, it is on curve, and drawing cards is so good in the right deck. Like, if you want to draw cards, like 1 cost 2/2 would that draws a card would be absolutely broken. But like a 1 cost 2/2 that just draws cards sometimes, that's completely fine. Like, that's just like, I'm thinking of maybe A tier even, just because card draw is so huge in quite a few decks actually. Just because oftentimes you will want a lot of cheap cards, so you will often actually be able to play that card that you get on top of whatever else you're doing. Especially on like obviously Captain Combustible loves that, because he can abuse stuff like Backmode spam a lot better by drawing when he draws more cards. But honestly, even on Grass Knuckles, this is probably not that bad, simply because those two heroes have like Time to Shine, which becomes an actually playable tempo card before instead of having to keep it as a finisher always. So yeah, I'm thinking A tier. It's probably not actually A tier, but B tier. But I think just as a statement, I'm just gonna put it into low A tier, even though it probably should be B tier, so I don't care. Alright, next one is gonna be Torchwood. This is another underrated card. There's a lot of underrated cards in this class actually. So yeah, Torchwood. Like, if you once it is in front of P, it's actually a 1 cost 2/3 team up, which is really good. It also has really good synergy with 3-Knot, which is why I oftentimes play it on Grass Knuckles 3-Knot decks. And it also works really well with Gatling P, because the Gatling P actually does the bonus attack with the +2 attack. It's not great, but once again, I'm actually also gonna be putting it at C tier together with the other, like, not horrible cards. So yeah. Alright, next, Black Eyed P. Yeah, this is just a really strong card. It might even be S tier. Compared to cards in other classes, it's definitely not S tier. But like, considering we're talking about megagrow, actually megagrow does have a few really strong cards lately. Alright, I'm just gonna put this in A tier. This is a really solid on-curve 2-drop. And into some decks, it's just gonna take over so badly. Like mostly into like Brainstorm and Immorticia decks. You just play this, and then the opponent like either removes it instantly, and you probably have gained some value out of that because they like needed to use like a fruitcake or like double extinction event or something. Like they probably have to overcommit into this, and otherwise it's just on curve, so it's really good there. And yeah, into other decks such as it. It also kind of means that whenever they want to remove anything else, they get punished. It's just very solid overall. It might really be S tier, to be honest. It's just not as good as what the other couple cards I want in S tier right now. Honestly, let's just say low S tier though, because it really feels a lot better than the Party Time, which I already put in A tier. Although, to be honest, the Party Time was a very low A tier, which should be a DB tier. Alright, Double Mint. I feel like this is... I don't know if it's still underrated and overrated, but it used to be that this card was both at the same time, which I really like, by the way. I love cards that just are both overrated and underrated, just because it's really fun to talk about them. But yeah, it's just really good to punish turn 2 commitments, especially on heroes that can punish not committing on turn 2. And since we have actually Black-Eyed P in this class, which does pretty much exactly that, it is actually quite usable on many heroes. Usually there's gonna be something else better, but like, for example, on Grass Knuckles, Triceratops, but also on Grass Knuckles, this can just be like a 6th or 7th Triceratops by running 2 or 3 of them. So yeah, they're really fine. I'm gonna put them in B tier. Alright, next off is I also don't know the name of this one in English, but it's a 2-cost 2/2 that just grows of plant by 2/2. It's not a good card. 2/2 stats are like on curve for a 1-drop, but for a 1-drop you'd need extra ability, but except it's a 2-drop. And the ability is to pretty much just merge it into another plant, which just means that when that other plant gets removed, you just lose this plant too. So it's just extra punishing yourself to get removed. It's just like 2-cost 2/2 with downside, sort of. I mean, it's not really a downside, it's more like an upside because you don't actually have to evolve it. Like, it's not good. It's not good. Alright, Fire P. This is not our fine card, it's on curve. But that's about it. It does literally nothing. It has P synergy, I guess. And 3 attack is sort of fine. Has nice aggressive stats. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in C tier. There's a lot of stuff in C tier right now. I might actually end up moving the 1-cost 1/1 P down a tier. Next is Coffee Grounds. I'm thinking of between C tier and D tier for this as well. There's this problem with double strike that the plant has to actually survive for the bonus attack to work. But then again, yeah, Peapod, thank you. The 2-cost 2 card here is called Peapod. Alright. So yeah, back to Coffee Grounds, we have it is also fortunately in the same class with Vegetation Mutation, which is actually a really good card. And on budget, that's a really strong combo you can do before you have the better environments. So, but yeah, generally it will be hard to actually have the plants do the bonus attack because either the environment will just get covered or the opponent will just remove the plant and it'll do nothing. So I'm gonna put it in C tier together with these other fine cards. Alright, next off is Split P, my most hated card in the entire game probably, mainly because people think this is extremely good to run in combos, because it's such a good tempo card that never gets free traded by Barrel, Plumber, Nibble, any superpowers, any 1-drop that gets teleported in. In fact, you don't even often have the lane to play it in, because there's a bunch of imps on the board. or whatever, so you end up just trading your 2-drop with a 1-drop, and then whenever you try to trade like a 3-drop or 4-drop for that, it just gets like again plumbered, acid rained, nibbled, trappered, or whatever. Like it's not a horrible card, but like it's so easy to deal with. And like I know that being easy to deal with is not a huge issue as a 2-drop, but it does mean that other 2-drops that are not easy to deal with are just automatically better. So it's also a C tier card. It's definitely worse than the other 2-drops, like Double Mint and whatever else I'm gonna put above here. It's probably like a little bit better than Fire P. I kind of want to put this in T tier just for the statement, but at the same time I can't, because there's actually quite a bit worse cards in C tier already. So I'm just gonna put this in C tier with the others. Alright. Next off is jeez, I'm horrible at the names. Cabbage Pulled. Cabbage Pulled was the name. Alright, this is not a great card. It's not the worst card ever, because at least it's sort of on curve when you play it on heights. But it's kind of but being lane restricted is really bad, especially on a class where you want the heights lane to remain open for certain other cards that would like the heights lane. It's not the worst card ever to run. Like on budget, maybe just running 2 of them while you're building up is not the worst idea. So I'm just gonna put this in D tier above this other garbage. Alright, next up is Lily of the Valley. This is just straight up the best 2-drop in this class, maybe even in the game. That's probably an overstatement. I don't know, is it better than Trika? I don't know. But like, as soon as the opponent commits turn 2, you just win. They're like, just getting 4/4 for free on turn 3, especially when you have heroes like Captain Combustible that just have raptors that exist, or like Shroom for 2, or like any team up like Umbrella Leaf in this class even, or like honestly even Torchwood is a really fine combo to use after a Lily of the Valley. Like that just wins the game on the spot whenever the opponent commits. Like I don't know, they play like a space time on the ground, you just front the space time with Lily, and you just win off that. And usually the opponent will not commit turn 2, mainly because of that. But like then you just don't play this, play like Black IP or any other 2-drop on turn 2, and like just combo it on turn 3 or 4. Like turn 3 Lily of the Valley Shroom for 2 is such a stupid combo. It's like one of the main reasons why Captain Combustible is not F tier garbage. Like Lily is just straight up S tier. It's definitely above Black IP. It's probably not actually above Banana Peel, to be honest. Those two are probably close. And next off we have Sweet Pea. This is another really fine card. By the way, this is a lot better than Split Pea. This was the first card I ran instead of Split Pea and combos back then. It did a lot better instantly, just because the stat line is better for a tempo deck. So yeah, just 2 cost 2/3 sets are really fine. 3 health just means it dodges Plumber, which is huge right now. But like the effect of moving a zombie, that's really useful, especially in a class like this. I'm considering A tier for this, to be honest. It's either high B or low A tier. I'm gonna put this in low A tier just because my A tier is kind of empty right now. But yeah, card is really solid, and moving zombies in a class where you want to exhaust one lane is huge. And the only problem with this is that it's pretty much outclassed by Banana Peels, so you're not ever gonna run more than like 2 or 3 of them, because you already have 4 Banana Peels. I'll order the tiers after I'm done. For now, it's just gonna be I'll also only be ordering S to C tier. I'm not gonna bother with D and F tier. So yeah. And next up is Backmode. I'm just gonna put this in S tier. This is just straight up a Lily of the Valley, except 1, it stacks whenever you draw more of them. 2, it also works on environments, which means it's absolutely stupid with Fireweed, and honestly even Coffee Grounds becomes worth it just because of this card. And it also works a lot better with, honestly, Repeatmos. Like Repeatmos is really fine with this, surprisingly. Like it's not a great combo, the best thing to use Repeatmos with, but every now and then, like you'll just have games that go until turn like 7 or 8, and then just Repeatmos, Vegetation, mutation, then spam your powers. It's gonna be actually really good. Like once again, it has the exact same combos with Lily, except you add stuff like any environment, especially fireweed, into the mix. So yeah. Alright, next up, the Boss P. Alright, this is a hard one to rank. Mainly because there's not actually many good one-cost Ps. But like, on turn 4, just Boss P plus 1-cost P is actually really fine, surprisingly. And then, I don't know. And then it's like you just win the game if the opponent doesn't answer it, except the opponent usually does. But like, it's not absolutely horrible. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Yeah. Alright. Next off we have oh my god, I just had the name of this guy. Muscle Sprout, alright. Another oh yeah, Pod Power, totally S tier card. Now Muscle Sprout is really, honestly, another really fine card. Like realistically speaking, you just need one more plant alongside this for this to be pretty much on curve, and like then it just snowballs after that. And the fact that you can pretty much grow this the exact turn you play it is actually huge. The only problem is that fruitcakes exists, but like, to be honest, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Split Pea. Just like, it's pretty good whenever it doesn't get removed, it just gets removed pretty often. And honestly, it gets removed less often than Split Pea. I'm gonna put it in same tier though, in C tier. Honestly, my C tier is a bit stacked, but I hope that will change. Next up is the fertilizer. I don't know why you would ever run this above anything else. Like, even just Vegetation mutation is just straight up a better version of this. I don't, maybe on budget just to exhaust stuff, but like, then again, the card just gets removed and then you don't only lose the card, you also lose the buff. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this in F tier. It's like maybe high F, but like whatever. Next up is Repeater. Alright, next up is Flourish. Alright, this one is actually really underrated in my opinion. Like, drawing cards in a deck where you want to draw cards, this is actually really fine, and it's really good at what it does. It's a little bit outclassed by Party Time, because Party Time draws cards while being on curve, but like, if you really specifically want to draw cards and not just like drawing cards, then this is better, I guess. And it's pretty much the only actually acceptable card draw option plants have, which also oftentimes means that decks will not actually want to be drawing cards. But like, it is pretty unique in its sense. It's just that not many decks actually want this. I think I want to put it in low B tier though, just for the statement, and because I feel like a lot of this class is anyways gonna be mostly underwhelming, so I'll have to lower my standards anyways. I lowered my standards for the A tier already anyways. Alright. Next off is the Beanstalk, the common Beanstalk. I don't know, this is another fine card. I feel like a lot of megagrow is just like fine cards that don't do anything special. Yeah, typical Beanstalk, not common Beanstalk, sorry. This is like on curve, and I guess it conjures sometimes. Honestly, I feel like it doesn't feel really fine because 3/3 isn't actually on curve stats. Like, you have like 2 cost 4/4s in this games. Like, 3 cost 3/3 isn't actually that much of on curve stat. I'm gonna put this in D tier actually. This is like, the conjuring is not good at all. There's better, like, I guess if you want Leafy synergy, but even then I feel like there's a lot better. I don't know, it's like not like horrible, but like, just does nothing kinda, I feel like. Alright, next off, Captain Cucumber. This is a really funny card, probably the most funny card in this class, if you exclude cards that are funny that just because they're broken, like Vegetation Mutation. Um, but like, if you want top end, and you can afford to have low attack bodies on the field, like this is just really good use, a really good idea to run. It's similar to Flourish. It's probably better than Flourish usually. It's definitely better than Flourish usually actually. Uh, it also just gives you more cards, forces the opponent to deal with it. Yeah, it's a fine card. I'll put it in a high B tier. I might actually need to lower my standards for the A tier enough, a little bit more for this. I don't know. It doesn't feel much better than Sweet Pea though. It's probably similar to Sweet Pea though actually. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in A tier. Just having a consistent draw engine sounds good to me. Yes, Banana Peel contouring Banana is extremely funny. This is one of the worst cards in the game, if not the worst card in the game. Yeah, that's garbage. Alright, next up is Moonbeam. This is another actually really underrated card. Like 2-5 stats is, as opposed to 3-3, this is actually really fine stats. Like 5 health is actually really hard to deal with, and it's as soon as you place it, it just gives you this immediate high roll potential of drawing Beanstalks. Also has Bean Synergy, which is nice on Green Shadow, I guess. And sometimes when I don't know what to run, I just put 2 Moonbeams into my deck, just to fill the deck, and call it a day, and it will pretty much always at least not be bad, and usually it will be not good, but like sort of good. I think that's good enough for a B tier. Next up is Grape Power. Doubles the attack of a plant. This would be good if there wasn't any removal in this game and the game wasn't really fast, so top end kind of needs to be winning on its own. I have run this occasionally in Plant Mob though, because that's one of the decks where you exhaust early. And it was actually really fine there. So, I don't know, it's not a good card though. It's definitely... although I will say gaining the Grape Responsibility is really poggers too though, because that also allows for another way of just increasing the health of your plants, but there's something that a megagrow actually struggles with quite a bit. I don't know, it's either high D tier or low C tier. I'll put it in low C tier, it's not that horrible. Okay, it also sort of gives the health, which is nice. It's just that it suffers from removal, but a lot of our C tier cards do the same. Next up is Shroom. This is another fine card, but in a more underwhelming way than the other fine cards. It's kind of just stats and kind of just the others. The plant you'll grow just immediately will get removed. I don't know. Can I put this in C tier? I gotta be honest. This is kinda just a little bit better Flourish, but it's not actually that better than Flourish. And not Flourish, Fertilizer. I confuse those two cards sometimes. I'm gonna put this in D tier. Like, it's fine on budget when you don't have many other options. But, like, it's just very underwhelming, kinda. Kinda just does nothing more than Flourish. Wait, does A Beans run this? Why the fuck would A Beans run this? Whatever. Alright, next up, we have a Banana Split. This is not a good card. 4-4 is not good stats for a 4-drop. Similar as to why 3-3 is not good stats for a 3-drop. And that half bananas are fine, but not by turn 5. By turn 5, usually you have your bananas already played. In fact, you just played one of your bananas. I don't know. Yeah, I can't justify it as higher than F tier. Alright, next up is Spinosaurus Rex. This is another one of these cards that just really suffers from Fruitcake existing. But honestly, It's really just Fruitcake that this suffers from, and Bolts, I guess. It's a really fine tempo 4 drop though. So it's at least high C tier, just because it suffers less from removal than the others and is a little bit more of a threat. And honestly, yeah, it's definitely B tier. I have also put Moonbeam in B tier. It's another card that also suffers from mostly just Fruitcake. Yeah, usually you will call it B-Rex. I also usually do. I just read the Spinosaurus Rex here. Alright, next up is Repeatmos. This is probably the most overrated card right now on Captain Combustible specifically. This is, and on any other hero it's just straight up F tier, alright? And on Captain Combustible, like, it's, the combo is good whenever you pull it off. But like, there's this inherent problem with this combo, that you need to get hit a lot of times to get the to get relevant amount of attack for this. To get the relevant powers to increase the attack of this, and to do enough bonus attacks for this to actually work. And like, generally when you're getting hit a lot, those that's just gonna be aggro decks. And into aggro decks, you don't actually want to get hit a lot, because you'll just die, because they have a lot of very aggressive and early finishing power. So that's not a good idea to be doing into aggro decks. But like, then you go into control decks and realize that they will never be hitting face until they have 20 damage in their hand. So it's like, into control decks, like, generally combos are specifically good into control decks, but like, this combo is not good into control decks because you need to get hit a lot, which control decks just don't give you. So yeah, that's just a flaw in itself. I will say though, once you have the combo on turn 6, it will often be an instant win, so it's not like a horrible card. But like, I can't put this much higher than C tier, to be honest. Like, it's just one hero, and on that hero it's not actually optimal. It's good on that hero. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this in C tier. Like, I actually cut this from Captain Combustible, just because plant food turned out to be better once you have a 5 attack plant, and doesn't do nothing if you don't have any combo. Alright, next off, Sky Shooter is just straight up F tier. Next off, alright, Plant Food. Now this is a good card. This is pretty much a Repeatmos if it was good. Similar to Repeatmos, it also combos with the Captain Combustible superpowers. However, instead of unlike Repeatmos, it actually also works on other heroes on one hand, and it also doesn't need you to be holding anything, and doesn't need more than just one power. In fact, it doesn't need any power in the first place. Like, just as soon as you have one card exhausted, which this class is so good. Okay, exhausting one card is generally not a good idea. But like, if once you have like 2 or 3 big cards, and you can be pretty safe that one of them is gonna live, and Plant Food is gonna profit so much of that. Such a reliable finisher once you have a field. I'm gonna put this in. Can I put this in A tier? Also, whenever it's not a finisher, it can also be used as removal, which this class actually really lacks. So it's actually really useful for that oftentimes. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in A tier actually. So yeah, next off we have Spinach. It's not a fine card, but you need to build around it. Then again, a lot of Leafy cards are really fine. You have like Party Time, Bong Choy, Double Mint, and Umbrella Leaf just in this class already. Are there any Leafy cards in other classes actually? I don't know. Doesn't matter. As soon as you evolve this though, like, the buff is actually really strong. It's kind of like a Crow Magnolia on steroids, and Crow Magnolia is already a fine card. Like, this is at least C tier. It does need to build around though. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this in C tier. It's good, but it needs build around. It isn't that great. Alright, next up, Red Planet. I don't know what to do with this one. It's like really overrated and really underrated. Honestly, I don't feel it's actually any overrated anymore. Most of the Discord decks actually cut that by now. But like, it's underrated in a way. Like people just go like, oh, you'll play it, it'll get covered. Yeah, like that's not gonna happen actually. 99% of the time, the zombies are gonna already have played all their environments, so it's actually gonna give the plus 5/5 stats. The problem is just that the plus 5/5 stats, like usually it's not actually that hard for them to just get jump blocked, or like for zombies to just win in other lanes. Like turn 5 is a little bit slow for just dumping stats into the field and praying. It's not horrible, but so I'm gonna put it in C tier because it is actually quite solid stat drop. I don't know, it's not exactly something you'll wanna be doing. If you pull it off though, once you play it down, usually you'll win the next few turns. Yeah, opponents will usually not cover that because, yeah, once again, most environments get played way earlier. Alright, next off we have Pod. I love this card. It's such a base card. This is the Justini card basically. Oh yeah, someone just wrote like have an essay of Leafy plants in other classes. Jeez, those are Hardest Choke was Leafy. Oh my god, I didn't even realize. Alright, apparently there's a lot of Leafy cards in other classes. Don't mind what I said earlier about the guy, Spinach. Alright. No, I'm still at Pod. Alright. Pod is actually surprisingly fine. Like, oftentimes, usually when you build a Pod deck, you just wanna like exhaust this into 20 attack and then play it on turn 6 with Time to Shine. And it's good in those decks, but like honestly in other decks, you realistically speaking just need to be growing 5 plants for this to be in 5 cost 8/8, which is immediately already good stat just because it dodges Fruitcake actually, which is something really, really, really good to be doing when Fruitcake is pretty much everywhere. Powerhouse. The card is called Powerhouse, not just Pod. And honestly, just growing 5 plants is really not hard on this class when you have like Backmode, Lily, Black-Eyed P. You have like, you also have a bunch of card draw which will grow any dinosaurs. Now you also have a bunch of powers that grow. Like this is really fine. You know, I honestly want to put this in B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in B tier actually. I feel like this class is gonna be a lot more controversial on my opinions than the Kabloom class was. Then again, I have lowered a lot of standards for this class just so it's not everything in D tier. I will probably move a bunch of cards into D tier though. In fact, looking at this, I have to put this move this to D tier. It's not close to as good as the other cards I have in C tier. And I'm thinking maybe Grape Power down to C tier. I'll just leave it at this for now. I'll look at it after. Alright. Next is Gatling P. This is another one of the good finishers in this class. Mainly just because of the bonus attack though. And to be honest, it feels a little bit outclassed by Plant Food. Because usually when you'll have a P, Plant Food will do the same bonus attack. And the 5/4 double strike body isn't that great in a meta full of Fruitcake. Like when you have like a 4/5 Black-Eyed P, just Plant Food is usually gonna be better already. Then again, the Black-Eyed P will have to have grown already. But like whatever. It's not bad though. It's just a little bit worse than. It's not much worse than Plant Food to be honest. So yeah, I think I can justify just putting it a tier below Plant Food into B tier. It's also together with Spinosaurus Rex, which they're pretty much twin cards. They're like the same card, but like one costs like one more and has P synergy. Alright, next off. This Whip Wine, you should never run this outside of budget, But on budget, this is probably the go-to finisher you should be going for. Anywhere else, though, this is not good. It's just like... Although, to be fair, moving a zombie is actually, like I said, a good effect. It's just that other cards like Banana Peel and Sweet Pea are doing that a lot better. So I'm just gonna put this in same tier as Sweet Potato. Alright. Next off is Pot Fighter, I think. This was Pot Fighter, right? Yeah. This is a really funny card, but like you kinda need to be holding on to a lot of cards, and you by turn 5, and also realistically speaking, you're not ever gonna play this turn 5 or like more like turn 7 or on. Like you don't want to be holding enough cards for a combo for this to be worth it. I don't know. It's a funny card. I've never gotten it to actually work. I guess it can finish games, so we'll put it in D tier. It pretty much will never though. Alright, next off is Plucky Clover, I think was the name. It's a straight up F tier, it does nothing. Straight up. It conjures you an event card, which honestly is probably above average for the cards, but like then again, that's not high standards. So, like most of the time just... Yeah, Pot Fighter is just worse Moss kinda, yeah. And Moss is already just D tier. So yeah. And this is just worse anything else. Honestly, this is already worse Whipvine just because usually it won't have more than 5 attack. So yeah. Next is Onion Rings. This card is a little bit overrated, to be honest, right now. Although, actually, it depends on... A lot of people overrate it right now, though, because a lot of Discord decks still run this. The actual Discorders do tend to cut this card, though. Yeah, thing is that similar to Pot Fighter, you don't want to be holding many cards by turn 5. At least it's faster though. It's like you only have to be holding them till turn 5. You can play them right after. Pot Fighter, you'll need to combo like turn 7 or 8. So it's definitely better. I'm gonna put this in C tier. It's probably similar to Red Planet. In fact, they're oftentimes interchanged, just depending on what you want right now. Next off is Pampers. Honestly, drawing cards is really solid on late game. The problem is just that the stats are horrible, and 6 cost drawing cards is a little bit, and it just draws 2 cards. It's not actually that good. Yeah, it's just F tier. Alright, next up is Apatatosaurus. I'm just checking chat sometimes, which is while I'll not say something for some seconds for sometimes. Apatatosaurus is actually a really good late game card. Like you just stomp this on the field, and any control deck will just fold to this. Like whenever you struggle with control, just dump 2 or 3 Apatatosaurus into the deck, and it's gonna be all fine already. I'm gonna put this into the A tier. I would say low A tier, but then again, I think I've set low A tier for like 4 out of 5 of these cards, so it's probably not that low anymore. Yeah, like if you want top end, this is probably the go-to on this class. Sometimes you don't want to, which is fine. But yeah, this is one of the best top end cards in the game, just because it's like it dodges fruitcake and other cards that would just make any other top end not worth it. Next up is Super Fat Beats. Alright. These are similar to Potted Powerhouse. A little bit underrated in a way that you just realistically need only 5 grows for this to already be growing out of fruitcake range. Problem is just it costs 1 more, which oftentimes makes a huge difference, and it's kind of really slow to, and makes it really slow to just be dropping raw stats on the board. and it's also in the same cost as range as a Potatosaurus. So usually you'll uh, just like want a Potatosaurus to be dodging any tricks, to be dodging fruitcake. So this dodging fruitcake doesn't matter that much. Like, I'll give it D tier. It's better than the F tier cards. And just like that, we get to Espresso Fiesta. On paper, 3 bonus attacks for 8 isn't bad. If you could split them and do like, I don't know, 3 Son, 1 bonus attack, and then do that 3 times and have the third one cost 2 or something. But like this, you're just never getting to 8 Son. Like 6 Son is it's like turn 6 is already really late in game. It's like waiting for it, and it doesn't even win on its own. It needs you to already have a field. Like, this is just an F tier card. Alright. Pretty sure that's gonna be it. Let me just see if I have to cut a little bit of the... Nah, it's just Espresso Fiesta that just cut off the bottom. I think that's fine. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the tier list. I'm gonna actually be ordering this as well, just as I did with the Kabloom tier list. So yeah, I will not be ordering D and F tier. I will be ordering S and B. I might also skip a little bit on the C tier. I don't know. Alright, so for the S tier, Vegetation Mutation is just straight up the best one. And then we'll have Lily and Banana Peel. I will probably put Banana Peel a little bit higher, because Lily kind of holds off late game. Alright, on the A tier, it's definitely plant food on the top. Out of these other ones, honestly, it's probably Party Time and Sweet Pea as the lowest. And Apatosaurus is probably a little bit better than Captain Cover. They're similar too, though. So it's like these two, and then these two. I will put Thyme a little bit higher, but they're both pretty much the same, just on curve stats with a small upside, which is nice. Next up we have B tier. What's the best card in B tier here? Jeez, these cards are mid. Okay, this is a little bit hard to order actually. Probably Gatling P is higher than these cards here. Actually, let me just go with the worst one. Probably Moonbeam is the worst one here actually. Then Umbrella Leaf isn't that. It isn't definitely not as good as these others. Similar to Potted Powerhouse. Yeah, these two can go together. I'll put Potted Powerhouse a little bit higher. In fact, I'll put Flourish together with these. I'll put Flourish a little bit higher, just because it's a little bit more unique in its effect, because there's no other card draw. Then we have like probably Double Mint as the highest tier. Then we have like probably Gatling P above these. Yeah, I'll put Half Banana above Bong Choy because both are above curve, but Half Banana is kind of above curve because it grows bananas and can be basically 1 cost 3/3, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, the way this is looking, I feel like I might want to put something out of C tier into B tier. But yeah, I'll just be ordering the C tier now. Probably Onion Rings at the top. And Repeatmos together with Onion Rings. And Red Planet is similar to those. A little bit worse though. Then... yeah, I'm gonna put Split Pea a bit higher than Fire Pea and Torchwood. Torchwood can probably go lowest here. Those were my cats, by the way. I don't know if you heard them, but they're just jumping around and doing garbage. It's cute though. Click P is... I don't know. Is Click P better or worse than Split Pea? I hate both cards. I gotta say Split Pea is probably a little bit better. And we have Muscle Sprout. Honestly, Muscle Sprout is probably better than these. Coffee grounds is worse though. And then we have spinach. I'll put spinach above these. I like this, so it looks good. Honestly, I'm thinking of putting like onion rings and Repeatmos into speed here. Like they're really similar. Yeah. Now I'll probably just instead put some chords into from C tier into D tier. Yeah, screen lagging is something that happens sometimes. I don't know. Especially, probably because I'm recording and at the same time as streaming. So yeah, I'm thinking of moving Torchwood and coffee grounds down a tier. They're really fine though. No, what I think I think I can live with this. I'll probably just share this on the Discord and probably have a lot more rougher talk on this one because this is a lot more of a mess than the other one was. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I gotta be honest. Onion rings and Repeatmos do feel a little bit better than the other cards in C tier, and more similar to the cards in B tier. What I will do that. I will do this. I will. I gotta be honest. They're not actually worse than Moonbeam and Umbrella Leaf. It is worse than Umbrella Leaf though. And I will leave Repeatmos below the Moonbeam. Alright, anything else? Nope. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, I'll be linking the picture to the tier list and the template in the description like I did with the Kabloom video. And it will be updated in case I change my opinion after any discussion on the Discord. Alright, bye.